Right now, as you're watching this video, there's probably a notification waiting on your phone. Maybe it's a text message, an Instagram like, or an email that just arrived. And here's the uncomfortable truth. You're probably fighting the urge to check it, even though you just started watching. If you felt that little mental tug, you've just experienced what millions of people face thousands of times every day. Welcome to the age of digital addiction. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's deep dive into one of the most pressing mental health challenges of our time, our relationship with digital technology. I'm here to guide you through understanding how our screens are rewiring our brains, affecting our mental health, and most importantly, how we can take back control. The statistics might shock you. The average person checks their phone 96 times per day. That's once every 10 minutes during waking hours. We spend over 7 hours daily looking at screens, which means we're spending more time with our devices than we do sleeping. But here's what's even more concerning. This isn't just changing our habits, it's literally changing our brains. Today's video isn't about demonizing technology or asking you to throw your phone in a drawer forever. Technology has brought incredible benefits to our lives. Instead, we're going to explore the science behind digital overwhelm, understand its impact on our mental health, and discover practical strategies for creating a healthier relationship with our devices. We'll journey through real stories, bust common myths about digital wellness, and provide you with a step-by-step framework for your own digital detox. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to transform your relationship with technology from one of compulsion to one of conscious choice. So let's begin this journey toward digital freedom and mental clarity. To understand why digital detox is so challenging, we need to explore what's happening in our brains when we interact with our devices. The truth is, our smartphones and social media platforms are designed to be addictive, using the same psychological principles that make gambling so compelling. Every time you receive a notification, your brain releases a small hit of dopamine, the same neurotransmitter involved in addiction to substances like cocaine or alcohol. This creates what psychologists call a variable ratio reinforcement schedule. Sometimes you get rewarded with an interesting message or engaging content. Sometimes you don't. This unpredictability makes the behavior incredibly compelling. Think of it like a slot machine in your pocket. You never know when you'll hit the jackpot of a funny meme, important message, or social validation, so you keep pulling the lever by checking your phone over and over again. Tech companies employ teams of neuroscientists and behavioral psychologists specifically to make their apps more engaging, which often means more addictive. The fear of missing out plays a crucial role in this cycle. Social media platforms create artificial urgency by showing us curated highlights from other people's lives. Your brain interprets this constant stream of what you're missing as a threat to your social standing, triggering stress responses that make it feel necessary to stay connected. But here's where it gets really interesting from a psychological perspective. Our brains have something called the negativity bias. We're naturally wired to pay more attention to potential threats than positive experiences. Social media exploits this by prioritizing content that generates strong emotional reactions, often negative ones. Outrage, controversy, and conflict get more engagement, so that's what algorithms serve us. Research from the University of California, San Francisco found that heavy social media users show similar brain patterns to people with substance addictions. The same neural pathways light up when they see their phone, as when addicted individuals see their substance of choice. This isn't weakness or lack of willpower. It's your brain responding to carefully engineered stimuli. Let me tell you about David, a software engineer who came to realize his relationship with technology had become problematic. Despite working in tech, he found himself checking his phone during important conversations with his family. He'd reach for it unconsciously, even when trying to relax. What started as staying connected had become a compulsive behavior that was interfering with his relationships and peace of mind. David's experience illustrates how digital habits can develop gradually. We don't wake up one day deciding to become addicted to our phones. Instead, small behaviors compound over time until we realize we've lost control. The good news is that understanding these mechanisms is the first step toward regaining that control. Now we'll understand the mental health impact. The relationship between excessive screen time and mental health isn't just theoretical. It's showing up in research labs and therapy offices around the world. Large-scale studies involving hundreds of thousands of participants have revealed concerning connections between heavy digital device use and various mental health challenges. Depression rates among teenagers have increased by 60% since 2007, the same year the first iPhone was released. While correlation doesn't equal causation, the timing is striking. Studies published in the Journal of Social and Clinical Psychology found that limiting social media use to 30 minutes per day for just 1 week led to significant reductions in loneliness, depression, and FOMO. The mechanisms behind these effects are becoming clearer. Excessive screen time, particularly on social media, creates what researchers call compare and despair cycles. We're constantly exposed to other people's highlight reels while experiencing our own behind-the-scenes reality. This creates unrealistic standards and feelings of inadequacy. Sleep disruption is another major pathway through which screens affect mental health. The blue light emitted by devices suppresses melatonin production, making it harder to fall asleep. But beyond blue light, the mental stimulation from constant information intake keeps our minds in an alert state when they should be winding down. Poor sleep quality has direct links to anxiety, depression, and emotional regulation difficulties. Attention and focus are also significantly impacted. Research from Microsoft found that the average human attention span has decreased from 12 seconds in 2000 to 8 seconds today. Constant task switching between notifications and different apps creates what scientists call attention residue. Part of your mind remains stuck on the previous task, reducing your ability to focus deeply on anything. Consider the story of Maria, a college student who noticed her grades declining despite spending more time studying. She discovered that even when her phone was on silent, she was checking it every few minutes while reading. This constant interruption meant she never achieved deep focus, turning a 2-hour study session into a 4-hour session with half the retention. The social impacts are equally significant. Heavy device use is associated with decreased face-to-face social skills, reduced empathy, and increased social anxiety. When we're accustomed to the edited, controlled interactions of digital communication, real-world social situations can feel more challenging and unpredictable. Physical symptoms are also common. Tech neck from looking down at devices, eye strain from prolonged screen time, and repetitive strain injuries from excessive typing or swiping affect millions of people. These physical discomforts contribute to overall stress and can impact mental well-being. But perhaps most concerning is the impact on our ability to be present. When we're constantly connected to the digital world, we miss opportunities for reflection, creativity, and genuine connection with others. We become human doings rather than human beings, always consuming information rather than processing our experiences. Before we explore solutions, let's address some common misconceptions about digital wellness and screen time that often prevent people from making positive changes. Myth 1. Digital natives are naturally better at managing technology. Many people assume that younger generations, having grown up with technology, naturally know how to use it in healthy ways. Research suggests the opposite is often true. While digital natives may be more technically proficient, they're also more susceptible to the addictive design elements built into modern apps and platforms. Myth 2. Multitasking with devices makes you more productive. This myth persists despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. The human brain cannot actually multitask. it can only switch rapidly between tasks. Each switch comes with a cognitive cost, reducing overall efficiency and increasing errors. Myth 3. Screen time limits are only important for children. Studies show that adults who implement screen time boundaries report improved sleep quality, better focus, reduced anxiety, and enhanced relationships. Age doesn't make you immune to the psychological effects of constant digital stimulation. Now that we understand the psychology behind digital overwhelm and have cleared up common misconceptions, let's explore a practical framework for creating a healthier relationship with technology. This isn't about perfection. It's about progress and finding what works for your unique situation. Phase 1. Digital Awareness Assessment. Before making changes, spend 1 week honestly tracking your current digital habits. Most people significantly underestimate their actual screen time. Use your phone's built-in screen time tracking features to get objective data about your usage patterns. Phase 2. Create digital boundaries. Start with time-based boundaries. Designate specific hours as device-free, beginning with just 1 hour per day. Many people find success with either a morning digital-free hour or an evening wind-down period without screens. Phase 3. Mindful consumption strategy. Transform passive scrolling into intentional engagement. Before opening any app, pause and ask yourself, what am I hoping to accomplish here? This simple question can prevent mindless browsing sessions that leave you feeling empty or agitated. Phase 4. Notification management. Take control of your attention by customizing your notifications. Turn off non-essential notifications and batch check your messages at designated times, rather than responding to every ping immediately. Creating initial changes in your digital habits is challenging, but maintaining those changes long-term requires different strategies. Let's explore how to make digital wellness a permanent part of your lifestyle, rather than a temporary experiment. First one is regular digital audits. Schedule monthly reviews of your digital habits. Technology evolves rapidly, and new apps or features can slowly creep back into problematic usage patterns. Use these audits to assess what's working, what isn't, and what adjustments you need to make. Consider questions like, has my screen time increased lately? Are there new apps consuming too much attention? Am I maintaining my digital boundaries, or have they slowly eroded? This regular check-in prevents gradual backsliding into unhealthy patterns. Second one is flexibility and adaptation. Life circumstances change, and your digital wellness strategy should adapt accordingly. An approach that works during a calm period might need modification during stressful times. The key is conscious adjustment, rather than unconscious abandonment of all boundaries. Third one is celebrating progress. Acknowledge and celebrate improvements in your digital wellness journey. Notice when you choose to stay present during a conversation instead of checking your phone. Appreciate moments of deeper focus or better sleep quality. Recognizing progress reinforces positive changes and motivates continued growth. As we conclude today's exploration of digital detox and mental health, remember that this isn't about eliminating technology from your life. It's about ensuring technology serves your well-being rather than undermining it. The most powerful realization from this journey is that you have more control than you might think. Those notifications that feel so urgent, you can turn them off. Those apps that consume hours of your time, you can delete them. Those digital habits that leave you feeling drained, you can change them. Start small. Choose one strategy from today's video and implement it this week. Whether it's creating a phone-free bedroom, scheduling notification-free time, or simply pausing before opening social media, small changes create significant transformations over time. If this video helped you understand your relationship with technology better, please share it with someone who might benefit. Together, we can create a culture of conscious digital consumption that supports human flourishing, rather than undermining it. Thank you for joining me on this journey toward digital wellness and mental health. Remember, the goal isn't a perfect digital life, it's a mindful one.